Coinbase CEO on regulation, ETFs, and adopting crypto over here on Bloomberg Television. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you hanging out. Let's do it.
I want to start here, actually not with the volumes, but I want to give you the chance here because I know you're flying down to DC and hosting a lot of Congress over at a summit that Coinbase is really spearheading, including Cynthia Lummis and Patrick McHenry. How do you see your presence in Washington today, and why is it so important for you and Mark Andreessen to be there?
Yeah, well, you're right. We are hosting an event tomorrow called an Update the System event, and we're inviting a bunch of policymakers, members of Congress, and the goal is to talk about all the different use cases of crypto that are emerging. I think there's kind of this trope that's out there, which is that, crypto doesn't have any use case, and it really couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, crypto, first of all, it's a new form of sound money, right? It's a return to almost like a new gold standard that's digital. In this time of high inflation and deficit spending, I think people are really interested in that. And it's a nice check and balance that'll help America with any of the issues there. It's also digitizing the dollar. It's making payments fast, cheap, and global. It's allowing artists to sell directly to their fans, decentralized social media. There's all kinds of things that are emerging around use cases in crypto. And so we want policymakers to come together to talk about that, to get the word out, and also to see the number of Americans that are actually using this technology now, so that a very important message can be delivered that, being anti-crypto is political suicide in this political environment.
Now, you're talking so much about other use cases for crypto outside of even just being a store of value here, as many people see it as they're entering this asset class, some for the first time with the advent of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. It begs the question, how do you see the future of Coinbase? There are a lot of questions about the future of crypto exchanges in the world where Bitcoin ETFs have gotten so much share. Do you see Coinbase going far and above beyond being simply a crypto exchange?
Yeah, so with the the ETFs that got approved, we've seen a huge influx of capital into the system. About $12 billion of inflow have happened. And when that happens, sometimes people ask us, well, what does that mean for Coinbase? Well, it's actually incredibly positive for Coinbase. We're the custodian for about 90% of the assets in those Bitcoin ETFs. And so we have monetization opportunities there as a custodian, but it didn't cannibalize any of the opportunity in our direct products too, our retail app, our institutional product. We actually saw increased inflows there while we saw $12 billion of inflow into the ETFs. So the ETFs were incredibly positive for the industry. They were a regulatory approval. They unlocked new pools of capital. And Coinbase is going to be not just a place where you store crypto, it's a place where you can actually trade crypto. You can use it increasingly in many different applications all over the world. And it's not just Bitcoin either. We support over 100 different crypto assets. So we want Coinbase to be the most trusted and easiest to use place to store crypto, to trade it, and to actually use it. And we can actually become people's primary financial account in some cases in this new crypto economy.
Kind of like a crypto.
Real quick, in the chat. So I asked you guys, who uses Coinbase, if you do or you don't. And I put a third option for Crypto KJ. Says I was banned because he was banned. Anyways, it's because it's in the UK, I think. I don't know if they allow people in the UK actually to use it, but if they do, let me know in the chat. Also, let's all right, so Nismo Miner, actually, this is what kind of made me pause the video. He said 10% of my Bitcoin is on Coinbase, rest is on Robinhood or Tangem. So if I were you, please don't keep your money on exchanges. Robinhood, I don't know. I probably wouldn't leave anything on there. Coinbase, if you want to leave some on there, cool. But let's be real. Since the Tangem has the swapping feature inside of it, and you have a Tangem clearly, I would absolutely just send your money to Tangem, and you can swap it out on there if you ever feel the need to sell. Do you understand? If we hit all-time highs again, these ETFs are 100% going to take precedent over you, the little guy trying to sell. So when that time comes, you're probably not going to be able to sell. Do you know what I mean? They're going to freeze your shit. So that swapping feature, I think they use a bunch of different exchanges, and you should be able to sell at other places. That's kind of why I just wanted to give a little PSA on that. But that's what I'm doing personally. I'm not leaving shit on Coinbase anymore. I'll just swap it through Tangem and call it a day. Mr. Midwest Mining Dude, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate it. We have Scott A, Game with Smokey Dan got one. We have Automatic Beats, Nick K, and Drew and Mike live. Appreciate you guys for being here, and congrats on the new memberships. All right, let's continue.
bank?
Yeah, one might say that. I don't think we're ever going to go get actually a bank license, because banks get licenses to do fractional reserve of the assets. I don't really think that's the right path. I think it's caused all kinds of issues with bank failures and that kind of thing. We don't want to do fractional reserve. We want to store 100% of customers' assets, or if they prefer, they don't even have to store it with us. They can do self-custody. And if they choose to opt in their funds into some product to earn rewards or something like that, they can choose to do that. We're not going to do it on their behalf in the way that banks do with fractional reserve. So it's a new paradigm. I think that there's a new generation of people who are looking at, they want to see crypto update the financial system, because 87% of Americans, when you survey them, they say the current financial system doesn't work for them. Fractional reserve is just one piece of that. But if you look at credit card fees and overdraft fees, and why does it take 2 or 3 business days to send an ACH transfer? And so our financial system really needs to get updated. And that's what we think, is that crypto is this most important technology to update the financial system globally, bring economic freedom and good financial infrastructure to people all over the world if they just have a smartphone with an internet connection.
He's right. He's 100% right. Real quick in the chat, Crypto KJ said it might just be timing, but Coinbase banned me right after I paid for KS0 Pro directly from Ice River. And you know what? That's a good point. Forgot. So when you guys, so like if you're doing say leverage trading, right, over, if you guys are going to use like Bybit or whatever, if you have like a VPN and you guys are doing like weird trading, or you're purchasing things from across seas, or things rather from across seas, the address can get flagged when you're sending it to those places, right? So like if say you have, again, you're trading on Bybit or Binance, right? That's banned in the US, and you send your money from Coinbase to that exchange, you can get banned. Like they will just lock your account out, saying it's weird activity. So you guys got to make sure, like if you're gonna do things like that, not financial advice, send it to your own damn wallet, and then send it out of your own wallet to said exchange. And same vice versa, if you're getting paid from a different exchange, send it to your wallet and then send it to Coinbase. Who cares if it costs you a little bit more of a fee? That way you're safe and you're not getting like screwed. You're not going to lose your money. Do you know what I mean?
Before we update the system, we have to talk about some of the things you've seen on Coinbase in recent weeks, as well as other exchanges, kind of hiccups along the way as we've seen this new activity really bring Bitcoin to new highs and then back off those highs. Brian, what have you learned from the outages in recent weeks over at Coinbase when we have seen those elevated volumes in activity and trading after we've seen such inflows into the ETFs?
Yusuf said, do you lose your ish if you get banned? You can. Yeah, I mean, well, not lose it, but like it gets locked up and you have a real hard time getting it back. So that's the main reason we say please self-custody. Mr. Retro Mike in the chat, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. He said, in 2017 bull market, my Coinbase account got hacked and drained. I contacted support and they instantly banned me. Took 4 years to get it reinstated. Wow. Wait, hold on. Did you get your money back 4 years later? Or did you just lose everything and still get friggin' banned? That's terrible. I'm sorry that happened. That's awful. That's why, like, guys, please hold your own crypto. Get a Tangem. Use one of those apps. It's a free app. Get Trust Wallet, okay? I don't have a link for that, but have fun. Go look it up in the iOS store or the Android Google Play Store, whatever it is, the Trust Wallet app. Save your seed phrase and put your crypto on there if you don't have any other option. If you want to buy a Tangem, links in the description. LEPAL, I think I have a link in the description. If not, CCXD gets you 10% off both of those. Use somebody else's code. I don't care whose you use. Just make sure your shit's safe, please. Like, seriously, it's crazy how many people keep money on these exchanges. Like, don't do things like that. Like, you're going to lose your funds at some point, and it's going to be sad.
Yeah, well,
and I trust Coinbase. I really do. I trust them, right? It's just, you guys, if you're sending shit in and out of Coinbase, not to a private wallet, be careful, because you can get pinched that way. They will just say it's weird activity because they don't know what's happening. At the end of the day, they can't trace and find out where your money's actually going, right? Sometimes they can. If it's a Bybit exchange or something like that, they can trace that. They can find out what that is. But these companies like Ice River, if there's a lot of money going into one account to buy Ice Rivers, like, yeah, you can get flagged. Like, please just send it to your own wallet and then out of your own wallet, even if it costs you an extra $10 in fees.
Of activity on our platform, and last year we spent a lot of time doing load testing and making sure we could handle a 10x surge of traffic. What's incredible is that as Bitcoin touched and surpassed the previous all-time highs, in the span of about an hour, we saw more than a 10x surge of traffic come in. And so it exceeded even our models of the amount of interest that could come in a short period of time. So I think what's happening is that Coinbase is becoming a systemically important financial institution for the world to power this new part of the economy. And we're going to have to continue to invest in our infrastructure at an even greater level than we have in the past. So, look, it's good. It's a signal of adoption of crypto and how important it's becoming in the economy. But that just makes our job even more important, and we got to make sure we're serving our partners and our customers with good infrastructure.
I think
real quick, the one who was says having to input your social security number and upload your license is BS. Screw Coinbase. It might as well be a damn bank. Well, that's just a KYC exchange. Like Kraken makes you do that too, right? Real KYC exchanges make you do that. You have to take a picture of your license. You got to take a picture of yourself, right? Like they want to make sure it's you. So I get that. It's kind of securing your stuff, right? But there's also a good thing to that. If your shit gets shut off or stopped and you have all that stuff in Coinbase, it's a lot easier for you to recover your stuff, I would assume, right? Except like if you're just a nobody, they don't know who the hell you are. Hello, Mr. Nobody. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to unlock this account for you. We don't know who the hell you are. So it's one of those things, right? Double-edged sword. I know it sucks, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit more protection than you'd get anywhere else.
I think it begs the question as well. About a week or so ago, we saw record prices here for Bitcoin itself, which of course attracted a lot of interest into other crypto assets. I want to ask you about Ethereum here for a minute, because we've already gotten past those spot Bitcoin ETF approvals. Ethereum has always been a very popular crypto asset. But when you think about the tone in Washington and what we've seen after that Bitcoin ETF approval, do you think it's going to be as easy the second time around? I shouldn't say easy because it did take years to get here, but as smooth or as likely for investors to see that Ethereum ETF be approved just as swiftly?
Yeah, I mean, I think the ETFs, the Ethereum ETFs very clearly should be approved, and everybody deserves equal treatment under the law. Unfortunately, some of this crypto stuff has gotten a little bit politicized at our federal agencies, and there's unfortunately this kind of turf war between the CFTC and the SEC about, is it a commodity, is it a security, et cetera. And I think the facts are pretty clear that Ethereum is a commodity, but that's not going to stop folks from trying to throw a wrench into things. And so, if it does get delayed unfairly, I think the industry will have to follow a similar path to what happened with Bitcoin, which is they'll essentially go to the courts, and the courts will compel the regulators to follow the rules, follow the law, right, and give equal treatment under the law. So it may take additional effort, but I think they really should be approved right away. And I was really pleased to see that Coinbase was actually named as the custodian in 5 of the 8 Ethereum ETF applications. So it continues to be
there are 11 out of the 13 of the Bitcoin applications.
Endorsement of us as a platform that people want to build on top of.
That was what I was going to ask you. What is Coinbase's role as more crypto assets see an ETF wrapper come to the surface here? Of course, you have a large custody business here. You are kind of running the show here when it comes to most of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. But do you think that this is also a business where more people will seek to diversify their custodians? Will that have a big impact on your business?
Well, we want there to be a diversity of custodians in crypto. And of course, people should be able to store crypto themselves too. That's one of the unique things in crypto. You can kind of be your own custodian. So there should be a diversity in the ecosystem. I think Coinbase is really just trying to be one of those trusted pillars that folks can build on. And it's great. Like the ETFs, they can build on top of us as a custodian. They also need trading services often, financing, settlement, other sorts of services that we provide. But I think even if we get, an ETF for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, kind of go on down the list. And eventually, by the way, we should have index funds, hopefully someday there can be a Coinbase 500, kind of like the S&P 500 with the top 500 coins by market cap. All kinds of things could get built in the future, but these aren't just passive investments that people want to do. Crypto increasingly has more and more utility. People are paying for things, now with USDC, you can actually send it instantly anywhere in the world for free on Ethereum, layer 2 solution called Base. So we can.
That's pretty cool, being able to move USDC for free. That's pretty awesome.
revolutionize payments. What I talked about earlier with artists getting paid and decentralized social media. It's kind of the future of how the internet is going to get built and how a lot of
actually, real quick, the USDC. Somebody pointed it out to me. It was actually my man Fully Electric. He's an OG in the space. He said that USDC. You know how you guys can get like, I think it's like 5 or 6% APY on your USDC inside Coinbase if you hold that instead of US dollars. Apparently, though, if your account gets hacked, that USDC is not covered, but your US dollars is covered up to a certain amount. So keep that in mind. I kept all my stuff in USD after he told me that. And yeah, I would have never known that if it wasn't for him. So shout out to Fully Electric.
Applications are monetized. So people are going to come to Coinbase when they want to hold crypto directly, when they want to actually use crypto, when they want to get access to staking and other products, Coinbase cards, so they can spend their crypto at any merchant where Visa is accepted. I think these are very additive. We can be an infrastructure provider to traditional financial services, and we can be the retail app, the institutional app for people who want to directly use crypto.
Now, Brian, as you head to Washington now for the summit tomorrow, I also want to kind of point out here that you've had a large voice here in advocating for pro-crypto candidates. Where does the rubber hit the road? Is it really making a difference at the end of the day when America is also facing a whole host of other challenges like inflation?
Well, it's funny, actually, inflation ties really neatly into crypto. I mean, the expansion of the dollar money supply is probably the biggest driver of inflation in the US. And a lot of average people, they may not think about quantitative easing or fiscal deficits, but they do notice that the prices of things have gone up at the gas station or the grocery store. And so inflation is a big tentpole issue. I think increasingly people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is the antidote to inflation. It is a very important check and balance on deficit spending. And I think for the US to remain a global superpower, a financial hub, technology hub, and for the dollar to keep its reserve currency status, which I very much want as an American, we need a check and balance because, of course, in the early 1970s, the dollar was fully decoupled at that time from hardback commodities like gold. And since then, it's followed a similar pattern to other nations around the world. So anyway, I think Bitcoin is increasingly becoming a part of the political dialogue. And Coinbase has tried to help out here, help these 52 million Americans who've used crypto. By the way, that's 5x the number that own an electric vehicle, 3x that have a union card. So it's a massive constituency, and I don't think a lot of people in DC realize that. We've contributed to organizations like standwithcrypto.org, which is building a grassroots movement. We've contributed to organizations like Fairshake, which had great outcomes in the Super Tuesday elections. So we really need to get pro-crypto, pro-innovation candidates elected that recognize the need for regulation, that balances protecting consumers.
We have to leave it there. We're hitting up against a break, but we hope to have you back soon. And good luck with that conference over there tomorrow. We'll want to hear all about it later. That's Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong.
She's like, thanks for being with us, but shut up.